My name is Beston. I live in Cape Town. Also, I do delivery. Interbet helped me to realize my dreams. Now I have my own delivery vehicle and I'm able to do the removal in and around Cape Town.
Racing on Easter Monday takes place out at Hollywoodbets Scottsville. We've got an 8-race program for you with race number 1 set to get underway at 12:40 over the 1400 meter trip. We begin with the juvenile plate, and in KZN the horses are stepping around the turn now. These juveniles going over 1400 meters. We've seen it in the rest of the province, but it's now the turn for KZN to have their feature race, their juvenile races rather, around the turn. And race number 1, well, it is a big field at line-up. We've got a couple of scratch-ins in the first race, and just having a look at this contest, Michael Miller, he had originally had 11 of the 15 runners, but that's been reduced to 9 of the 15 runners, with numbers 14 and 15 scratch. That's Strategic Point and Son of Erupt. So it's a field of 13 runners that will line up to face a start over 1400 meters. Favorite is number 1 Havana Moon, along with number 10 Great Plains and number 13 Isi Vivane, both at 7-2 in the market. Discerning, the filly from the Michael Miller yard, is at 11-2. It's then 13-2 Mr. Nibbles, and then 15-2 and Better Bar. Those now, it's obviously interesting to note that Tristan Godden has elected to ride number 1 Havana Moon as opposed to the rest of his stable mates here. Havana Moon, a last start winner when beating Dapper. I thought he won a nice race, and he seems like the horse that will only improve once he goes over 1400 meters. So there's certainly quite a bit of upside to number 1 Havana Moon from that one draw, the best off the gates here. I think he's obviously a runner that will run a nice race. But the runner that has got to keep you interested is number 10, Great Plains, from the Justin Snaith yard. Now, he's a 2-year son of the non-platina. After his debut performance on Met Day, he was gelded 2 days later on the 29th of January 2024. So he returns off a rest and gelded. And his debut run, it was actually quite decent. He was only beaten 6 lengths despite finishing in 9th position. The form line has held up with Talk to the Master coming through to win. We've had horses like Prom Queen, Makazolo, and African Prince all franking the form. So it is a form line that has stood up to date, and I think that this horse Great Plains is open to huge improvement now that he has been gelded. He does have a deep draw to contend with. First start at Hollywoodbets Scottsville, first run around the turn. There's obviously a few question marks alongside his name, but I think he's a runner that there is more to come from him. He should have probably finished slightly closer on debut. He was inconvenienced at a crucial point in the race, and I thought that he's a runner that could run a nice race. Justin Snaith will be hoping that he can kickstart his KZN season on Sunday, where he's got some nice runners lining up in the feature races, and I'm sure if Sunday goes according to plan and goes well, then the confidence of the yard will be up, and they'll be hoping that Great Plains can run a huge race on Monday in the first. I think even a horse like Isi Vivane must be given huge respect here, despite that deep draw. Richard Free is an absolute master of overcoming deep draws. 13 out of 13, and Richard gets a ride here for Peter Muscat. I thought he won a nice race on his debut run in KZN. He's another runner that's open to significant improvement, and he's going to absolutely thrive going over 1400 meters. I think if he was drawn in the first half of the field, he'd be a confident first selection, but given that 13 draw, it just puts you off slightly, but nonetheless, I think he's got to be given a serious shout here. And then the horses like number 2, A View of the World. Paul Lafley thinks that this could be a useful sort here, and 3 lengths off them on debut, and he will no doubt love going over 1400 meters. He's bred to enjoy the distance, and he steps up from 1000 to 1400, so there's more to come from him. And then number 3, Discerning. Well, they took this filly up to the Highveld for the Ruffian Stakes when she was beaten behind Almond Sea. Things didn't go according to plan for her. Reported kicked the back gate. She was beaten 15 lengths. Almond Sea was a facile winner on the day, and she looks to be a very, very precocious type from the Tony Peter yard, and I'm keen to see how she does when she does come through to KZN for the feature races. But I think Discerning can certainly run a nice race. But in order of preference, I'm going to go with number 10, Great Plains, to beat number 13, Isi Vivane, followed by number 1, Havana Moon. And then I'll throw in horses like numbers 2 and 3 into the mix. But in terms of the buy pot, I'm just going to go with numbers 1, 10 and 13. I think between those 3 numbers, we should be good enough. We should be safe in leg number 1 of the buy pot over 1400 meters.
It's good fun. Days like these are great. You get the whole industry together. And to have, companies and corporations like Interbet and Cape Racing who are so generous with sort of time and energy into making a day like this possible is it's fantastic for everyone.